because I was just going to put Daniel there.
Good day, everyone. Dr. Jacqueline King here. And as you know, I tell you that we bring exciting people to you doing amazing things. And today, of course, will not disappoint you. You probably know him, especially in Indianapolis. You all know this handsome gentleman, Daniel Miller. Oh my God, he's so amazing. And he did that story on me.
I did. It was a fantastic story to write about you too. So thank you
Well,
for
thank
giving me the
you.
opportunity.
So let me just give you a little background on this young man. Three-time Emmy Award-winning journalist Daniel Miller anchors Fox 59 Morning News from 7 to 10 a.m. with Angela.
Good note.
Good note. I didn't want to mess it up. He joined Fox 59 in January 2021 after 6 years in Boston as a morning anchor at the Fox affiliate WGHP-TV. Miller is no stranger to Indianapolis and the Hoosier State. In 2015, before taking the job in New England, he was a weekend evening anchor reporter for Wish TV. I didn't know that. In 1998, Daniel graduated from High Point University, my hometown, in High Point, North Carolina, with a Bachelor of Arts degree in political science. He also a semester at Westminster College in Oxford, England, studying British history. Amazing. Born and raised in Greensboro, my hometown, North Carolina, Daniel began his media career in college on the assignment desk as an associate producer at WGHP-TV in High Point, North Carolina. Daniel has been recognized by the Indiana Broadcasters Association for breaking news covering during severe weather. He also is a member of the National Association of Black Journalists and what is that? Lambda?
There you go.
Lambda Chi Alpha Fraternity.
Lambda Chi Alpha Fraternity. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much and welcome to
Thank you.
Women and Black Men Empowered. I don't think you knew that we have that too. So today, this is so exciting for me. I want to know, did you always know that you wanted to do this?
Yes. I think as early as 15, 16 years old, I've always known that, the power of journalism and what you can do with it can change lives, can change your life. But I've always had this inquisitiveness about wanting to know what's going on around me, what's going on around the world. And at that age, I got a camera, a small camera. I wish I could find that camera, but it had the not a VHS tape, but more of a cassette tape that you put in the camera, and that's how I recorded things. I knew there was a love, and I think growing up in North Carolina, the appointment television is sitting down at 6 o'clock to watch the evening news. I never missed it, especially when my grandmother was alive. To watch,
you have a choice.
Yeah, I didn't have a choice because that's what you did.
That's right. So you started with the camera. What are some of the things you did at that age to kind of set you up for this position?
Well, I think when you're that age, you don't really know that's what you want to do, but when you like something so much and it brings joy to you, you tend to lean towards that, and that's what happened for me. And through high school and college, I had people who, I am only here because of the people who were behind me, who not only supported me, but pushed me and to help me believe that this was possible. Mm-hmm. So it was centering myself around those folks who encouraged and inspired me to be the best that I could be.
And so you obviously had mentors, and who would some of them be?
Carol Andrews was a mentor. My mom and dad, and also Barbara Allman, a counselor from high school. Mm-hmm. And then my family. I mean, I come from a family who believes that you can achieve and be anything that you want to be if you work hard and you treat people with kindness and always stay humble and believe in doing things the right way.
Absolutely. High Point University, that is actually, a lot of people don't know, that is one of the most beautiful campuses I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And I only went there once, and I saw all the beautiful statues, and it's amazing. Tell me what it was like going to High Point.
High Point was a bold move for me because I wasn't sure if that was a school for me, but I remember going there and I realized that this is the place that was going to change everything, and it turned out that it did. The president, Dr. Cubain, who's there now, still stay in touch. He wasn't the president when I was at that school, but High Point was a place for me to become that person that I felt like I was always supposed to be. I joined my fraternity. I was also, and I had to remember this because there's so many things that I've done. I was freshman class president, which was really shocking at a predominantly white university and white freshman class. But I think because of my personality and because of the person that I am, none of that mattered to me. I just wanted to be at the forefront of, giving people that encouragement that I feel like was given to me. Everything didn't come naturally, but I think as time went on, I was able to meet some good people who, even at school, inspired me to be who I am today.
As you talk, I'm the thing that comes to my mind is against all odds,
Mm.
because to go to High Point, which I believe at that time, I don't know what it's like now. It wasn't, like you say, that diverse. How challenging was it?
I don't think it was a challenge for me because I was always the type of person who welcomed things that were different. I'm one of those people that's always been one to go away by myself and experience something new because I that excites me. And the university's motto is choose to be extraordinary. So I felt like,
Mm,
okay, I like this.
absolutely. And
And,
so,
and
go
no,
ahead.
and today, what the university has been able to do to recruit students and to recruit parents to send their kids to that school, and even have parents donating millions of dollars to the school before their kids even graduate, says a lot about, the foundation that's built there for their kids.
And so, you are an example to Black men.
Mm.
And Black men, I worked in corporate America. So, and working at the a all white male dominated industry, the electric company, I
Yeah,
saw a lot. And I
right.
saw Black men struggle as engineers in the
Mm.
electric company. So, you are an example that you can make it. What are some of the things that you would uh, say to a Black man who? I mean, because Black men take a hard. I mean, let's keep it real. Black men take
Yeah,
a hit in
it,
in
it,
America. Period.
it's different. Growing up in my house, my dad is still tough. Believed in only getting one chances, and I always remember, getting that one spanking. Never happened again.
I know that's right.
I, I just felt like for me that I had a responsibility. This is the only life that I know that I have, and when I try to go out and do the things that I do, I want to give it my 100% best shot at it. But it has not been easy in this career going up the ladder. I mean, there's a lot of, you know, proving yourself. And then when you think you have proved yourself, someone else says, well, it's not proven enough. And so you get passed over for certain things. Luckily for me, it wasn't that, you know, I was turned down or fired from something. It was just God telling me that it's not your time.
Oh, I love that. I love
And
that. Hmm.
and I believe in that. I believe that, but I also believe that so many of us spend so much time trying to control situations, and we think that we can control these situations, and we miss out on so much other things that are happening in our life. And it wasn't until I said, you know what, this is out of my hands. I can't control this. This is God's work that He's supposed to be controlling. When I released it and let it go, all the doors open, and that's how I live today.
Do you know? You just gave me such a chill because I did the same exact thing. I was
Mm.
fighting because I knew I was smart. And I
Mm.
remember one day saying, okay, God, I can't do this anymore. And honestly, he spoke to me and said it was never your battle.
It's
And
never your
that's when
battle.
my career took off.
That's how it happens. That's how if you talk to people who are at a level of success, whatever, however you define success, it could be a happy life, it could be a happy marriage, it could be financial success, whatever success it is till you release that you think you had control over and give it to something bigger than yourself and start focusing on those things that matter, you start to realize and see those things happen for you. And it's a true fact for me. I mean, I gained weight and I was worried about this and doing this. And until I said, you know what, I got other things I need to worry about. Because you know, when you're in your late 20s or 30s, you just try, you want to be that person, and you're competing with so many different
Hmm.
people who have all these other support systems behind them, and you think your support systems are great too, but you still have that weight that you're dealing with, and that's in your mind that is weighing you down on trying to do things in your life. For what reason? I
Hmm.
think for me now, looking back on it, everything that I did prior to releasing was actually a lot of wasted time.
Hmm. You say that again.
And now that I realize that, my time is so important to being devoted to so much more important things that make a difference for me, but also for the circle that I have, because I'm very, very particular about who I bring in my life now at my age. In my 20s and 30s, it was a lot different.
Right.
You know, as I've had friends say, "Oh, you want to know everybody?" No, I want to know people, because the more people that I know, the more I'm able to understand the environment that I'm around. Not that I want to know their sisters and their uncles and their wives or husbands. I want to know them. I want to know what makes them think the way they think, live the way they live, and it doesn't matter about what you have or where you come from. I've seen it all.
I know you have.
Um, and I see it all every day. I mean, we just had an earthquake in Turkey and Syria on
No,
Monday
it's
that,
awful.
you know, for me, I've always wanted to be an international journalist to cover world events. And when I see stuff like that, it stops me in my tracks and remind me how I don't like the word lucky, but when you see that, hopefully sometimes you think how lucky you are, how fortunate you are. Most people say, "Oh, I'm dealing with this. I had this," but look at that image that you see of people
Hmm.
who are still trapped underneath cement and rubble, whose lives have just ended like that. And even when and if they're rescued, how their life will be.
And
And
you know,
so the little things that you're going through, they don't really
they
matter.
they don't matter. And you know, you this is really scary because I just had this conversation yesterday. Honest to good, I said, you know, we worry about simple things, and
Mm,
I was looking with my friend at that the rubble, and all. I said, we don't have like major problems. I mean,
mm.
can you imagine that? You know, a child, you lost your whole family, and then what? There was a baby there. I don't know if you saw it. The baby
Yeah.
survived.
And mother
So,
passed away, so this baby will grow up for the rest of her life uh, not knowing her mother or father or family, but will potentially know her story and how she survived because of videos and stories being told about her right now.
that's right. Oh, wow. You took me back there. So for me, um, I started Black Women Empower, Black Men Empower because there is a need
Mm.
to empower Black and Brown people. I don't care what anybody says, the need is there.
I
But
agree with you.
it doesn't mean that we don't love all people.
Mm.
My mentor was a white Irish man with red hair who mentored me all the way to my six-figure salary when I was in corporate America. Um, and I know that you had to have diverse mentors. Talk about that.
Yes, one of those diverse mentors, Tom Cochran. If you're from Indianapolis, you may know who he is. He was a powerhouse news anchor in this market years ago, worked at the competition, WTHR, but he's also a fraternity brother. I did not know that until I got to Indianapolis and worked at the television station where I was, but I was on the assignment desk at another station, and he helped shape, and the reason why I'm where I am today is a lot of him believing in me and putting me on the air for the first time in this market. I remember sending out tapes. People were like, "Oh, you'll never make it." Being turned down in that way for jobs, but never being fired from a job. But I remember how that struggle was trying to get that first job on the air and then trying to prove yourself that you could do this. Comfortable? No, not, I enjoy what I do. It's not hard, but I also love that I'm able to still learn and comprehend the stories that I'm talking about and share them in my way.
How important to you, for me, uh, having someone believe in you, especially in corporate America,
Mm,
how important is that to you? Because I managed to excel in because someone believed in me, and I have friends. I mean, I was there for what, almost 26 years, so a lot of my friends never got to the level that I am. How important is that to have someone that believes in you?
well, first, you have to believe in yourself.
Absolutely.
And then if you have a supportive company, supportive environment, a supportive boss who believes in you, anything is possible. But you also have to keep the lines of communication open to let them know what it is that you want. Because sometimes people don't know. You can come to work and not say a word to anybody and leave and do that. And it's 5 years later, you're still doing the same thing that you're doing. And when you start it, but when you speak up and you show and that this is what I'm passionate about and what I want to do, and you have people who support you and believe in you in that role, they give you opportunities to grow and be bigger and better. I believe that, and this is for anybody doing anything, that if you love what you do and you do it well, you will be taken care of. You will be rewarded financially and all other ways of rewards that you see coming fit for you.
And a big part of it is networking. I push networking.
Mm.
Of course, you already know I'm a networker.
Yes.
So, how has that helped you in your career? Because for me, I tell people, um, my parents were not educated. They
Mm.
they did. My mother worked at General Motors, and my father had a car dealership, but they didn't go to college.
Betty Lou,
So
right?
Betty Lou Parker, you
Betty Lou
know,
Parker.
my queen
Yes.
mother.
Yes.
But I didn't have anybody to learn about
Mm.
corporate America because my parents didn't know that. So
Or
I
work in that environment.
right. So
Yeah.
networking was so crucial. And I think that the kids today don't get it. And I didn't get it. I thought that when I went in corporate America, all I had to do was be smart and
Mm.
know what I was doing and I would excel. But that nothing was further than the truth.
Right.
Say if nobody knows what you're doing or who you are, it doesn't matter. So talk a little bit about networking.
Yeah, it can come across as you trying to schmooze your way up. Um, Networking is important in so many different ways. One, it lets other people know about you, and it also builds relationships that last so long that you not only be using it as a networking tool, but you end up becoming lifelong friends
Mm-hmm.
with the same visions and ideas and ideals to live in this world. Uh, my business in particular, I think networking is important because there's so many of us doing the same things, and some of us may have, an opportunity that we know someone we met along the way that could be available and good for that you want to work with. Others could be in a different place and say, hey, I know this guy that I met or this gal that I met. She'd be great. So
Mm-hmm.
I think attitude, um, honesty, working hard, believing in yourself, and meeting the right people can help you get to where you want to be. Some people don't want that. Some people are comfortable being where they are, and that's great for them. As I tell my co-anchor Angela all the time, Christmas is December 25th every year. It doesn't change. So if you know that and you plan for that, when that day comes, the surprises you can give can be so big, but don't wait until the 20th to tell me or anyone that you're not prepared for that day. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So networking for me has given me a lot of opportunities. I'm here because of networking. The reason why I have this job is because of a friend that I worked with years ago who told me about this job. I would not have known about it otherwise.
Mm.
And even for Boston, a friend who wanted to get me for a particular job could not get me because the company that I was at wouldn't let me go. But when that person got to Boston, he's like, I can get him now. And that was a big opportunity for me. So,
Absolutely. So I know you're such a, I mean, we just met, but I can feel your spirit. You're
mm,
a kind-hearted and caring person.
I try to be,
You are.
unless I'm driving.
So what do you do to give back?
I don't do it as much as I used to, going into schools because they're so tight now with allowing people in, but I love going to events and speaking to people still today. Um, I mentor about 4 or 5 kids. I call them kids because they are. They're starting out in the business, just helping them along the way, and pretty much a level of networking when you go to the conferences, the National Association of Black Journalists conference that we have every year. You meet up and coming rising stars, and some of those kids that you saw at the beginning of these conferences are now on the big stage working and doing what they, I hope, have always wanted to do. So I think speaking in front of events and kids inspire me because I look at them and see myself.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was just this weekend, the Grammys, and Lizzo had said
Oh,
in her speech after winning, talking about Beyonce and how she was this girl who missed school to go see a Beyonce concert, but she also remembered the song that Beyonce sang. It was a gospel song, and it moved her and it touched her. And Lizzo said, I could do that and I can be just like you. And if she had missed that day and not gone to that concert, I mean, Lizzo may have been Lizzo, but we would not have known that story on how powerful Queen Bee has been
mm-hmm.
able to not only inspire another artist, but so many other men and women around the world with her music. So I'm fascinated by that and that story because I did not know it. So
Yeah.
hopefully I'm an inspiration to the little black boys and little white boys out there who want to do this. It's a changing industry. I know that, and I had a head full of hair when I started. Now I have a beard with no hair.
It's funny you say that. I got a facial yesterday, and I was my hairdresser did a facial. She wanted me to be her model for her students, and
Okay.
so yeah, my hair is falling out in my eyebrows. It's growing in places I don't want it to grow.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I
It come.
get,
You get it. Okay.
I
Yeah,
get.
you do. And you have to embrace it. And I think at the end of the day, I look back on the only thing that I really, if I could have anything in the world, I don't usually ask for much, and I don't ask people for anything. Um, but if I could have anything in the world, it would be that my grandmother Sally could see doing what I'm doing, because she passed away in 1988 from colon cancer, and I remember as if it was yesterday, getting the news, where I was, all those things, because I had a connection with her. This is my mother's mom, and that would be, if I could get anything rewarded to me, that would be it. It wouldn't be money or anything like that. It would just be see me doing what I do, because I used to watch the evening news with her.
But she's watching you.
Yes, I do.
And
I feel her presence all the time.
That's what my mother's best friend tells me all the time, because their birthdays were a day apart. Because, your mother's looking down and she's so proud of you. I hadn't started BW when she passed away, so she knew nothing about it. But yeah. So I feel that, they're looking down on us and they're proud.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of you too.
Thank you.
You're amazing. And so, how important is, I'm assuming you're a Christian, is God in your life?
All the time. It's, I live it, I breathe it. And it's important for me to even say that, because without him, none of this would be possible. I think what we deal with daily as journalists, talking about the stories that we talk about, the crimes, the shootings, the businesses, downsizing, all those things. I think having him in my life has given me that comfort of knowing that I'm going to be okay. Ange and I even talk about him daily. I think we have him as a part of our conversation. We're so used to doing that it comes natural to us. And I always ask myself, I was like, I don't know how it would be if I didn't have him. And I don't even want to know, because I don't want to think like that. And I think having the opportunity, and even when I was young, just to see the world, because I've been a lot of places. I've been to India, I've been to Ecuador, I traveled to England a lot, I have family there, Iceland, but just to see the world that he's created. I think if we had a lot of young Black kids to take fear away, and you mentioned this when I was interviewing you a couple of weeks ago, that fear is one of those things that will stop you. It will. I never have fear, and I don't ever want that near me. I believe that I can feel when something's not right, but I don't fear doing things that I know will make me be a better person and do better.
Do you know what? This is really a very different interview for me, because I feel so spiritually connected to you. You're saying stuff that I say. I'm serious. I say it all the time. I don't know how people survive without God. That's my line. And
you didn't know this when you met me.
No, I didn't.
I'm an enigma. I'm a mystery to so many people, because most people, when they see me, they look at me and they're like, what? Yeah. You get to know me, you'll know a lot about me. I'm going to so a lot of people don't know that I love tattoos.
Oh, wow. I got one.
Yeah, you do.
I got one on my left calf.
Yeah.
And that was the only one, because it was hurt. It hurt.
Well, yes, that is true. There's that part. But, people are like, why did you get ink tattoo? I was like, because I wanted to.
It's your art.
There's a story behind it. And, people who get to know me find that story out. It's all about, getting to know the person who is in front of you. But this is a journey we are all on. And I just love living, but I also love doing things. I'm always on the go. It may not seem that way, but I'm just I'm inquisitive about stuff. Like right now, I want to be in Turkey right now, covering that story.
Is that possible?
Not at this level here, but at another level, it could potentially be possible. Where do I see myself in 2-3 years?
That was my next question. You have to stop this. Honestly, that was my next question.
London, living there.
Yeah, you did tell me that.
Yes, it's people's like, what's your happy place? Do what makes you happy and go there often. Um, I love the history that country has, and I like the way it makes me feel, and I just love its people. Um, I'm a history guy, and when I read about history things and I see them in front of me, it just fascinates me. And you know, this world is so big. Some people are like, why London? You can go to a beach. Well, I'm not a beach person. The
Now that
ocean, the
that's one thing
ocean's
we don't
beautiful.
have in common. I am.
Yeah, the ocean's beautiful. It is. It's great and grand. Water makes sounds, and what's in it is incredible in itself. But I just love the history of the United Kingdom. So I go there often, a
Wow.
lot.
Well, I'm going to ask you as we close, what advice would you give to a person who wants to? Oh, by the way, my granddaughter, um, a shout out to Deja,
Hi, granddaughter Deja.
go into journalism. She
Mhm.
is a straight A. She's never had below an A. She's
Oh
14 years
wow!
old, and she's a little genius.
And I've had below an A before.
She hasn't never. I'm like, okay, she got it from me. No, I'm just kidding. But what can you get? What advice can you give to the young people that want to go into this field?
My advice is to stay abreast on what's happening around you in your community, and don't be afraid to talk to people and meet them, and also hear them and listen to them. Sometimes we hear things that we want to hear, but people have so many things that they want to tell us, and they're crying out for help. Even at the top level, they're crying out for help. It does not necessarily mean that they have to be people in an unemployment line. But they're people on all walks of life who want to be heard and want their story told. I think the biggest thing is people just want to be acknowledged. And if you are going to be a journalist coming up in the next, 5, 10 years, the landscape of the business is going to change, because now you have social media, you have Twitter, you have Facebook, you have all these other platforms that you can get your message out there, but you're also hearing and listening to people who are on those platforms talking, and you have to be able to decipher what's real and what's not. So believe in yourself first, um, work hard, and just do it. Look back and say, man, I wish I had done it a lot sooner.
I love that. I love that. Dan, thank you so much for your time. I know you're sleepy because you're up early. It's time for you to go to bed.
I have makeup on right now.
So thank you so much for your time, and
Dr. King, thank you.
we
I
thank
thank
all
you.
thank you all of our listeners. We thank you. Make sure you share the broadcast. God bless you. Until the next time, go in peace.